Welcome to this video. Today we need to talk about GoPro. GoPro is ready to unveil the next generation of cameras with the latest GP3 processor, which is very exciting news. And the question is whether this could lead to a short squeeze in the stock price as well. So in this video we're going to go over the latest news, the fundamentals and the technicals, and we're going to find out whether GoPro is a massive buying opportunity right now at roughly 77 cents. So without further ado, let's dive right in. We're now here looking on the charts on TradingView on weekly candles, and we can see that in the last few years the stock hasn't performed well. It went down from here to here is 94%, so it lost almost all the value. And the question is whether GoPro today is now very cheap at 77 cents. Well, it's still in a technical downtrend, but it looks a little bit oversold here, and it's far from the simple moving average. So the question is whether GoPro right now is cheap or expensive, and whether today is a great buying opportunity, and whether the new releases of the cameras could spark new life into this stock. So let's continue. So what exactly is GoPro? GoPro is a company that makes action cameras and to film whatever you want in a very small format, and they're especially made for like extreme sports, and that's what GoPro is known for. And they were very popular for a very long time, but I think that the phones and other companies like DJI have taken a lot of market share away from GoPro. So GoPro is now lacking a little bit behind, but they will release something new, and that could change the way GoPro is going to make cameras. So this is the big news: GoPro to unveil new generation of cameras at the April 2026 show. And they're going to release new cameras, and based on the footage, it looks really cinematic. So it's going to be a lot different than we're used to from GoPro, which is very interesting. And what they're saying is that they're going to have new cameras. So GoPro's new GP3 powered cameras are more professionally focused than ever before, with more than double the pixel processing, larger sensors, expanded features, and market-leading low-light performance, resolution, and frame rates, all in compact, durable form factor that deliver industry-leading runtimes and thermal capability across a wide range of environmental conditions. So this is going to be released this month, and I would guess that it would going to be like the GoPro Hero 14 and maybe something else with interchangeable lenses, like a mirrorless camera, but then very compact like GoPro always makes. And it's going to be interesting. There's been some footage released, which you can see here, for example, and it looks pretty cinematic if you're just looking at the footage by itself. So we're now here looking on GuruFocus to get a quick financial overview of the company, and we can see that GoPro has a score of 57 out of 100 based on GuruFocus. So that's not really high. It's pretty bad actually. So if we look here at the financial strength, we can see it's a 4 out of 10. They do have a lot of debt, and they're also not profitable. Their net income is negative. They are losing money each quarter, which is not a good sign for sure. So if we look here at the statement, we can see that the revenue has been declining in the last few years, and the net income is negative, and we can see that the cash levels and the debt levels have gone down, but the debt level is higher than the cash level, which is also not good. But I would say it's not too big of a difference, but still. Another question investors have is, could there be a short squeeze in GoPro? So what is a short squeeze? A short squeeze is basically when the price is trading high because of some positive catalyst, and then the short sellers have to buy back their shares, and this is going to increase even higher prices. And this often happens on companies that are shorted heavily. So here we're now looking on MarketBeak, and we're looking at the GoPro short interest ratio and short volume. And we can see that the short percentage of float is 16%. So everything above 10% is generally high. And it takes 3 days to cover. So that's a pretty long time, which is a good sign for if we want a short squeeze. But of course, we need to have like the positive catalyst first, which could be potentially the new cameras with the GP3 processor. And here we can see the short percentage of float, and we can see in 2025 and 2026, we can see in the last few years, it went up, and now it's quite heavily shorted at 16%, but it's not like super high, but definitely enough for a medium-sized short squeeze. When a company isn't profitable, they don't have positive earnings yet, but they do have revenue, how do we value the company? Well, we can look at a simple metric which is called the price to sales ratio. And what is the price to sales ratio? Well, essentially it's the market cap divided by its revenue. And this tells how much investors pay per dollar of sales. In short, if the company has a lot of revenue and a relative low market cap, then we could say that the company could be undervalued based on the price to sales ratio. So we know that this company is very risky, But maybe if it's really undervalued, then this can still be a great investment if you only allocate a small portion of it. So how cheap is this company? Well, if we look at the price to sales ratio, we can see it's 0.2. And this shows that the market cap is low compared to the revenue it's generating, because they do have revenue, which is a good thing. So 0.2 is pretty low. Well, it's good to know that GoPro is undervalued based on the revenue it's making, but some investors are concerned that the company might go bankrupt. So we're going to use the cash runway calculator to find out how much time they have left before they run out of cash, essentially. What exactly is the cash runway? Well, it's a formula to find out how long a company can survive without running out of cash. And here we can read the cash runway measures the implied amount of time that an early stage startup or a company that's losing money can continue operating at a loss before depleting its cash on hand. So it's a formula, and we can read here, the cash runway is the cash on hand divided by the burn rate. So here's the cash runway calculator that I made, and here we can find out how long they can last on their cash. And we're going to use the same formula, and it's essentially, this is the total cash and short-term investments you can find on the balance sheet in the latest quarter. And this is the net burn, basically cash flow from operations, which is negative because this company is basically burning cash. And the period length 12 months, because we're looking at the last 12 months when we look at the cash flow from operations. And then we can find out that the cash runway is 26 months. So it's a little bit over 2 years, which is a healthy cash position for a risky company. But it shows that they have time to turn around and to become profitable again. I don't think that this company is going to go bankrupt in the near future. What exactly is an economic moat? Well, the term economic moat refers to a long-term competitive advantage that a company holds that protects its position in a marketplace. So during the medieval times, they built castles, and a castle with a strong moat, which is the water here, protects itself from invaders. So a strong moat protects the castle, and it's the same with a business. If the business has a wide economic moat, it's protected against the competitors. And that's what we want when we invest in a company, and it's really important for long-term investors. So this theory is popularized by Warren Buffett himself, and here we can read, investors such as Warren Buffett state that buying businesses is like buying castles. Buffett emphasizes the importance of buying businesses with deep moats, as they are protected from competitors and can therefore maintain strong profits. So I built an economic moat analyzer to find the economic moat on the companies that I'm interested in. So I type in GoPro and I can analyze it to find out whether this has a strong wide economic moat. Well, according to this calculator, it doesn't really have a moat, and that makes this investment a little bit more risky. So they do have a little brand power because they are GoPro's established as a strong brand early on as a pioneer in the action cameras, but its premium positioning has been eroded by cheaper alternatives and also by your smartphone, for example. High switching costs, neutral high, network effect not really high, a little bit of intangible assets. So the verdict is, well, once a dominant player struggles to maintain sustainable competitive advantage. So they were doing really well, but now they're struggling a little bit. Its brand though recognized, is increasingly challenged by lower cost alternatives and a lack of significant switching costs or network effects, leaving it vulnerable to commoditization. So what are the strengths? Early mover advantage in action camera. They have like a recognizable brand name. GoPro is basically the same as action cam. Strongly community of content creators, but they do have also weaknesses like intense competition, lack of significant switching costs, and limited differentiation in core functionality over time. In short, GoPro doesn't have a strong moat. It almost has no moat compared to other companies. And that's why we should be very careful when we invest in a company like this. We're back here on the charts on GoPro, and I think that GoPro is a very risky company. And I think I'm not comfortable allocating a lot in GoPro. So I would only allocate maximum 1% in GoPro. So I either lose 1% or I can make like 10 or 20%. Once this thing is starting to go up, I do think that their new cameras could increase the stock price if it will sell well. But this is a risky company because it doesn't have a wide economic moat and the fundamentals aren't the strongest. But that being said, I think it's very cheap based on the price to sales ratio. Of course, always do your own research, always do your own due diligence. If you like this kind of video, then feel free to like and subscribe for more content, and I'll see you in the next video. If you want to learn how to master stock analysis like a pro and find winning stocks and beat the market so you can build a portfolio that consistently wins, then feel free to check the link in the description down below.